Well, right now, a group of Buddhist monks are traveling across the U.S. on foot, walking for peace. They're going from Texas to Washington, D.C. to raise awareness for peace, kindness, and compassion. As they walk, thousands of people have gathered on the sides of the road to watch them and give them items like flowers and treats for their dog, Aloka. Right now, they're walking through North Carolina.
There's a lot of conflict and unsettled unrest in our country, and I think it's important that just the simplicity of walking and gathering and meeting strangers is the purpose of peace and compassion.
In total, they'll walk 2,300 miles in 120 days and will finish next month in D.C.
I want to see the monks. Never in my lifetime, I'm 42, have I ever seen this, but we've also never had the type of time that we're having right now, at least not in my lifetime. So I'm here for the peace of the monks that they bring. I'm here to support them and what they're trying to do and what I think they're doing, which is establishing community.
They're walking miles and miles and miles, and when was the last time you did something so physically strenuous for a message? And I think it's just really inspiring that they are putting their bodies and minds and lives, I don't want to say on the line to be dramatic, but in a way, a little bit, it's a really, really intense physical activity that they're doing that I think really represents what we are experiencing in society right now, just the way the world is.
I think it just teaches you to be kind no matter of your race, your religion, your sex, your nationality, your or your sexual orientation. It just teaches you to be kind to everybody.
To me, that felt amazing. It was just, like you said, peaceful. Just to watch it come out and just worth waiting, and just brought me happiness, to be honest.
We rise before the daylight breaks, dust on our feet, hope in our hands. Long roads stretch beyond our sight, your kindness shows us where to stand. Through towns and fields, through joy and pain, we carry more than what we see. Every step a quiet vow, to walk with love, to walk as one. When the world feels torn apart and hearts grow tired, afraid and weak, we remember why we walk, because peace begins with me. We walk for peace, step by step, through the cold, through tears, through time, not to escape this wounded world, but to heal it one heart at a time. We walk for peace, hand in hand. Let compassion be our way, from silent prayers to open arms. Peace is born in how we walk each day. Strangers become familiar faces, sharing water, warmth and truth. Stories spoken without words, in gentle smiles and worn out shoes. We listen more than we explain. Let stillness teach us how to see that every soul we pass along is walking to just differently. In the weight of history's scars and the echoes of old pain, we choose not anger, not despair, but loving kindness once again. We walk for peace, step by step, through the doubt, through night and rain, not chasing dreams that live far off, but planting hope where we remain. We walk for peace, breath by breath, let mindfulness Children laugh along the road, elders bow with knowing eyes. Different faiths, one shared wish to let suffering slowly subside. We bless the ground beneath our feet and those who walk with us in spirit, for no one walks this path alone when love is what we carry. We walk for peace side by side, not perfect but awake and true. Every step a living prayer, for me, for them, for you. We walk for peace today right here in families, streets and homes, because the path to peace on earth is walked by human hearts alone. So when the road feels long and hard and the world feels heavy still, just breathe, be kind, take one more step. That is how we walk for peace.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live from the Hermitage. And we are indeed here at the Dharma Wheel Hermitage, braving through a pretty cold winter. I have to say that the last couple of weeks have been bracing, to say the least, and our consumption of propane has been, frankly, terrifying. Terrifying levels of propane consumption going on up here. We do have the heater going tonight. The boys are over here on the bed. You know the saying, let sleeping dogs lie, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to talk about dogs today, though, especially in the Walk for Peace update. We have some, I don't want to say it's sad news, I guess unsettling news, I suppose, to be expected if you're a dog owner. But I guess as a way of preface, we'll just talk about first where they are. So it's day 84, be day 85 tomorrow of the Walk for Peace. They're expecting to reach DC at around 120, day number 120, and they will walk straight to the White House is the plan. I understand. I'm not going to air the clip for different reasons, but we finally got mainstream media coverage. As some of you know who have been following my coverage of the Walk for Peace, one of the things I've been pushing is to try to get independent content creators like myself, other Dharma content creators, especially Dharma content creators, to cover the Walk for Peace, in the hopes that we would, as they approach DC, and now they're on the eastern seaboard, they're going up the eastern seaboard, so and as they approach DC, they would begin to get mainstream coverage. Well, we got our first mainstream media coverage. Jake Tapper from CNN did a piece on them. You can find it by just searching on YouTube if you want to watch it. I'm not, like I said, for various reasons, not going to air a CNN clip on this channel, but we did break into mainstream media, and that's new. Also in North Carolina, which is where they still are, they have drawn numbers that are unprecedented in any of their Walk for Peace that they've done, and they've done this all over the world, especially really long ones in India, and they've never seen these kind of numbers. In Columbia, South Carolina, they literally waited for hours, overnight. I heard they camped overnight to get into the venue to see the monks, and it was over 1,000 people. By the time they got to North Carolina, the people that were walking with them were in the multiple thousands of people. So they are beginning to draw these really, really large crowds of people. And it continues, though, the theme continues, even though the march has become very large, the theme continues with, you continue to see people just weeping. And I know the feeling. I get that. Because as I put these shows together, and this is like, I don't know, the third or the fourth episode that I've done where I've, focused at least some of my attention on this Walk for Peace. When I put these shows together, I weep when I see these videos. And so I know the feeling. And it's hard to explain, right? Because it's not like this feeling of despair or sadness. It's joy so overwhelming that it brings you to tears. It's an epiphany. It's truly a spiritual epiphany. And if they can affect me through the internet, if they can do that to me, and I'm a pretty seasoned, hardened content creator. I've seen a lot of internet fads and a lot of internet sensations before in my lifetime. And so if I can be affected like this, and if normal, everyday working people are lining the streets and being affected like this, police officers are breaking down in tears when they meet these men. And I don't know that it's the men necessarily. I wonder, perhaps also it's part the purpose, and the men doing it. So anyway, they're traversing North Carolina now. Like I said, tomorrow will be marked sort of day 85, and that's their progress. So some amount of days to go before they reach DC. And like I said already, we've got CNN coverage, so that's great, but we want to still keep the pressure on. So I urge, again, as I have every show, all my fellow content creators, please make as much content about this as you can. And even people without like channels or whatever, you still have social media channels of your own. Put it out to your friends and your family on your Facebook pages, wherever you can. Post this stuff, this material, and make everybody that you can in your life aware of this. I have a feeling in my gut that as they cross into DC, we're going to try to cover it live here on this channel. I will go live, and I'll stay live for as long as I can as they enter DC, and especially at the point where they try to approach the White House. We will, I choke up just thinking about it. We will go live and cover it and gather with all of you, my audience, and we'll watch this happen together, hopefully in real time. So that's kind of that update. But then also we had a bit of a setback in a sense that Aloka, the now probably arguably the most famous dog in the world, certainly the most famous dog on the internet at the moment, is Aloka. He's a male terrier sort of dog. I guess we should tell the story before we give the update on Aloka. We'll tell Aloka's story just really briefly. But Aloka began in a walk for peace in India. And Aloka was a stray who just simply started walking for peace with the monks. Literally, that's how it happened. I mean, it was, of course, a lot more magical than that. And there's, musical ballads and documentaries have already been done on Aloka. Aloka's already famous around the world. But Aloka finished that peace march out. I think it was a 1,200-mile peace march across India. And then when this peace march was planned, it was decided that not only to bring Aloka with them, but to America, but to make it so that Aloka could stay in America. So literally from the streets of Calcutta as a stray to the United States of America, it would be sort of Aloka's miracle. and then Aloka would walk the Walk for Peace here in the United States. And Aloka has been. Aloka began in Austin, Texas. Aloka was injured in the original accident that cost one of the monks his leg. And that injury has not slowed Aloka down. Aloka has kept up with the march. After he recuperated, he rejoined the walk, and was, I think, even the next day was in the support vehicle, but then began walking as soon as he could, and has walked, across 10 states. And apparently had a bit of a setback about 5 days ago, and on the recommendation of a local veterinarian, he was taken to Charleston. All of this was done on gratis, for free, but he was transported, professionally transported to Charleston, a professional veterinary hospital in Charleston, underwent surgery on a knee surgery, which is what went bad and what was originally injured. It has to do with the original injury. I've seen photos of him. My understanding is, as of a few hours ago anyway, he's still there in Charleston. But the plan would be for him to reunite, at some point be reunited with the walk before it reaches D.C. And it's believed that, but right now is recovering. I saw him in his little recovery. They had a very beautiful, very perfect, nice, comfy-looking recovery area set up for him at the hospital, and he looked to be doing fine. He had the collar of shame on, which is kind of, what you got to do when a dog has surgery, and he didn't look happy about being that or being away from his friends, his monks, right? But I think that Aloka will be back in the mix. Now, the news was a bit sketchy. It was hard to get really. I found a couple of news clips, but the details were lacking, and that's about all I could find out. That's what I know so far. If I learn more, I'll update, like on my other channels, like my X and Blue Sky channels and stuff like that. It's a good way to follow like day-to-day news. Excuse me. It's been very cold, very dry air. We've had a lot of sunshine. For Hermitage news, we are pushing through the winter. We're halfway through the winter up here. We've had a run the last several days of beautiful sunshiny days during the day, and it will tickle 55 degrees or so during the day for a minute. For a hot minute, and then but the nights have been brutally cold and long because it's still the middle of winter. So excuse me, sorry. And so we've been burning through the propane. Yeah. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers. Though the base camp continues to function really, really well. 100% what I expected it to be. So we're doing well in that sense. We're very well equipped. We're reasonably well supplied. But remember, please do, that we have a winter appeal going on, and that winter appeal is designed to try to get us through this particular time. To give you an example, guys, of the difference between the winters are very short here. First of all, this will be over very soon, and the summers are like 8 months long. I'm not even joking. And we're going through about a bottle of propane a week, which isn't, wouldn't seem a lot to most of you. It's about $15 worth of propane a week. That's a lot to me, though, especially to continually keep up with that. So up here in the mountain by myself. So keep us in mind, the winter appeal below, we're about 65% of the way through the appeal. The appeal will get us through the winter. So if you have the financial ability, please donate to the Hermitage. And also remember, guys, that during these streams and everything, we take tips. We have like Lisa Zen 89. What did you do? You spammed too many symbols. Maybe I need to calm the bot down and go tune him down a little bit. He seems a little jumpy. Is it just me? Bone, where's Bone? Does it seem just me, or is it like, honest to goodness, the bot seems quite trigger happy? I mean, he seems to get somebody every stream, and there can't be that many people doing bad stuff. I don't know. Maybe I got to take a look at the settings on that. Anyway, welcome to the stream, guys, everybody. That's pretty much all the Hermitage news I have. There's not a lot going on in the winter, but I guess I could talk a little bit about what we're going to do with the property, because I've had time to really survey like every square inch now of the property, so I'm super familiar with what we got for our money, and I know where I'm going to put everything, what I'm going to do, and so we'll be able to start in the spring when we get some weather. We'll be able to start right away, and we're going to start with fencing, pathways, and a small driveway and parking pad, and that's where we're going to begin, and then with a heavy emphasis on fencing, to be honest with you, with 3 dogs and a lot of wildlife up here. We've had brown bears on the property this winter. We've had packs of coyotes across the property. Luckily they kept going, but and they're always nearby. You can hear them. They're all around us. So some fencing would be good from just a defensive position. The dogs are really well trained. They stay on the property based on believe it or not, the property stakes that I put out. They actually know the parameters, and they know the stakes, and they know to stay on the 2 acres that we have. So that's not a big deal, but I just want the fencing up. And also privacy fencing. We have a property next door that's been abandoned for many years, and it's quite a mess, and so I want to put a length of privacy fencing up between us and that property, so in case anybody does come to come visit up here. And trust me, I have a new appreciation for what it's going to take to come visit us up here. I don't think this place is going to get anybody but the most intrepid practitioners in the world to come up here and pitch a tent. If Lama Choger is tuned in tonight or tunes in later and listens, I don't know how many people we're actually going to get, because one of the things I've learned about this winter is just how difficult it is to get in and out of this property. The roads continue to this day, right now, continue to be impassable from the winter storms, and they are likely to remain so for at least another week, if not more. And it would take a week of perfect weather for them to begin to even slightly return to normal. I got a text message coming in from down the bottom of the hill, so maybe we better check what's going on here. You're fucking bot. That was my sister. Oh, it's gonna be a great stream then. Oh my god. So that was my sister down at the bottom of the mountain. And she and Bone was in timeout too for what? No, Amy Beth is in timeout. She just text messaged me. Oh my god, you guys are killing me. Oh my god. Wow. That's for sorry kid. When's the timeout end? I don't even know how this shit works. I guess I gotta have a little talk with the bot. But after the show, I don't want to break open under the hood right now. It was supposed to announce the raffle, and it didn't either. But not that we have anybody to enter the raffle. You guys want rosaries, you can just have them. Oh, sis, I'm so sorry, kid. Oh, we have another viewer. We literally have somebody who's not like one of. Oh my God, Jax Hertz. Welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you. This is this is Dharma content, and we appreciate every audience member more than you can ever imagine, because you take a mela. Well, I wasn't going to just give them away like that. I was going to try to raffle them, but I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. First of all, enter the contest. So it's ! Raffle. See if the bot will give you a ticket. You're very welcome. I'm glad to have you. I gotta check my message again. Jax, enter the term in the chat, ! Raffle, all one word, and see if the bot will give you a ticket for the raffle. It's supposed to do that, but I mean, it's awfully quick on the trigger to like ban my family members. Oh my god. She's still in timeout. I don't know how to undo that. I'll have to look into this, okay? I can't do anything about it live stream. Maybe don't send so many emojis next time. Yes, you got to take it. All right. So, and the way the rules were supposed to be, to tell you what we had set up, is you got to have at least 5 people enter the raffle, because if we're audience free, I mean, I don't want to. The whole point of giving them away is to get an audience. I actually thought that maybe having Buddhist swag might I'm an old game streamer, and the giveaways were what really always drove the audience to you. So I've been trying to desperately figure out a way to do giveaways, and so the mailers were my finally I got an inspiration, a way to do it, and I found a source for. They're really nice too, and yet they're inexpensive enough that I can afford to give them away. But I'm just hoping that we could do it in raffles and actually use it as a way to bring the audience in. And also, you have to be here at the end when the draw. That's the other. There's only 2 rules. Got to get 5 people at least in the raffle to draw it, and then you got to be here when it's drawn. It's usually near the end of the show, like the last half hour or so is when we do it. So, I don't know how much you got of the update, Jax, for the Walk for Peace. You got any comments on it, though? I really think that, I mean, I've said it in my shows, really how I feel. I've never been prouder to be a Buddhist. I've never been prouder to be an American Buddhist in my life than I am at this moment with these men, like literally capturing the imagination of the entire country, walking barefoot like across it. That's just, it's just wild. I mean, it's just wild. And every stop along the way, they've sat people down and taught them how to do, like, basic meditation, how to focus on your breath and just slow down. That maybe peace is, can come from just, slowing down a bit. And I think that's been a big part of their message. And then compassion, of course, loving kindness has been huge for them. But it was interesting in Colombia, they go on stage and there's just like thousands of people. There's like countless thousands. And they camped out like a rock concert overnight to get into this Colombia, moved through where I live, but I was out of town when yeah, I'm way on the west. I'm on the wrong coast, or the left coast as they call it, or whatever. I'm thousands of miles away. It's a shame. I mean, if I'd have been anywhere near Texas, I might have been walking with them. I might have done it just whatever. I mean, that's just so incredible, right? And I definitely would have gone to see them. And just watching, even like uniformed cops with guns on and stuff, like throwing themselves to their knees when these guys walk by and bowing their heads for blessings. That's just something you don't see every day. That's just, I mean, I'm not trying to be competitive about this, but, we're a free market society here in America, right? And so, I don't see people doing this for, a bunch of Catholic priests right now, or mullahs, or rabbis. I don't see them inspiring people to tears by the hundreds and by the thousands. And who knows how big this is going to get, because really they're still in kind of the rural, rustic part of the eastern seaboard, right? North Carolina and whatnot. And they got a little bit more of that to go. It's really beautiful, but they're bringing out these huge crowds now, because they are getting into a populous part of the eastern seaboard. And so, but it's going to be really interesting when they get into like sort of Maryland and whatever, and start to really bear down on DC, to see what the reaction is going to be. What are these Washington politicians who have, beaten the drums beats of war for Venezuela, for Iran, for like all of it, all that crap is going on, right? And these guys are going to just walk their barefoot ass fucking selves right into the mix, man. I mean, just, yeah, into the jaws of Mara himself. Literally, like, I don't know. I think the whole thing is epic, really, to be honest with you. Not just historic, but epic. And I'm happy to be a part of it any possible way I can. And so by like being able to turn my little channel, my little audience onto it and talk about it and update people every week and whatnot, I've really tried to drill down on it. And I'm going to continue, boy. Like I said, when they cross the DC city line, I'll be live. We'll go live and see what the heck happens, man. I mean, Jake Tapper, as I said at the top of the stream, Jake Tapper we finally broke through the mainstream media, so that's cool. We've always been getting the little local stations covering it all the way, but, dozens of them, but, and now CNN, Jake Tapper covered it, did a piece on it. I didn't air it in the stream. I'm not going to, for various reasons. I won't air a CNN clip. Sorry, CNN, but no. And but that's great that they did the piece. You can find it. I mean, go on YouTube if you really want to see it, right? How hard can it be to find it? It came out, I believe, today. So so that's cool. That's new. And then also, the other thing that's the biggest news, of course, besides Aloka's surgery, and Aloka's going to be fine. I have a lot of confidence that Aloka's going to finish this. So I don't mean to alarm people in the descriptions and everything. It was not clickbait. But the update seems fine. I think it was knee surgery. It was not major surgery. It was like a fixer-upper kind of thing. And because of the accident that happened back in Texas, where he was hit down there, and there were complications. And it's a long walk. I mean, come on. That dog has walked 1,200 miles across India, and now 1,000 miles across the United States, right? That poor little paws put in some work, man. I mean, I think that Aloka should never have to do a peace walk again. I think Aloka should get to retire to the monastery and eat kibbles and get pets from the monks for like ever, and run in green fields and, retirement, baby. Retirement for Aloka. This is what I am we're gonna start like a movement, maybe even a petition, a change.org petition or whatever, but we want retirement for Aloka. Aloka's got U.S. citizenship. Aloka's here to stay. They've already announced that. So Aloka made it as a stray in the streets of Calcutta to, a comfy monastery in the United States of America. That's my dogs are rescues and from a third world country. You know what I mean? My terrier and my chihuahua are from Mexico, central Mexico. So I know what it's like to rescue animals from the streets of like a third world country. And it's, for them, from their point of view, of course, it's a miraculous, turn of events. So, but I think Aloka will finish. I think Aloka will be walking up front as they move on the White House. At least I certainly hope so. Aloka's been such a huge part of this, and I mean half the music, half the songs that have been written about the Walk for Peace have been written about Aloka specifically. So I think literally the world's most famous dog, and how cool that it's a Buddhist dog. It's a Buddhist monastic dog, And here I am with this, building this, monastic grade place up here with 3 dogs. So I just think that that's, Dharma and dogs, man. It is what it is. But I'm a real believer. I continue to preach it, I guess, in my own little way, my own little ministry online. But I think that dogs will teach you more about Dharma than you'll ever imagine if you slow down enough to listen to them. And of course, part of it is just that, is that you have to slow down. You have to slow way the fuck down. And then they can communicate with you just like language, right? But even just in that slowing down, you've already gained something. And then the real lessons begin. That's literally just the fertile ground. The real lessons in Dharma begin from there. And trust me, they'll teach you everything from patience to we've got a new puppy. We should give a puppy update, but I'm not gonna wake him up, guys. I'm not gonna stick a camera in his face. I'm sorry, but I'll give an update. Just Xander, my terrier, is my oldest dog in the sense that I've had him the first. He was the first dog of the tribe that I rescued. And he's getting on in age. He's not old yet. I don't consider him old, but he's getting on, and he's a solid 30 pounds. He's really muscly, he's a brick, and super active, right? And so, and Xavier's my Chihuahua, and he's 15 pounds, ideally 12, if we have him down to the weight, and he's closer to 12 now. So, a very small dog. And when we brought Bruno home a week before Christmas, our Christmas puppy, our new dog up here, when we brought him home, he was the size of Xavier, right? So about 15 pounds. And his eyes were just barely open. They were like little slits, and he could just barely walk. Like he could go like 3 steps and he'd just fall down. He was just all stumbly, bumbly, fat little, puppy dog, right? And the speed. So we're talking 3 weeks ago. This isn't like years ago, right? This is like 3 weeks ago. We brought him home a week before Christmas, and he was the size of my Chihuahua. And in fact, we used my Chihuahua's harness, his little body harness, on him. And we got pictures of it. As of 3 weeks later, as of today, he officially has surpassed Xander Bay. So he's more than 30 pounds. He's wearing Xander's harness at this point, and fitting it quite tightly, and he's fitting it. It's working on him. He's bigger in every way, lengthwise, height-wise, and weight-wise than Xander Bay. So he, in 3 weeks, doubled in size from 15 to 30 plus pounds. And I joke with people, but it's not completely untrue, but I think you can just stare at him and watch him grow. I mean, literally every day, though. Every single day. No joke, every day. It seems that he grows bigger and bigger. And it's going to be amazing. What an adventure it's going to be, because he's a Pyrenean Mastiff. So we can expect within a couple years for him to top 150 pounds. So, yeah. And he's a gentle giant. He's going to be a gentle giant, and there's no doubt. He's got a very, very nice personality. He screws up all the time because he's just, a retard, right? But he's got a good heart about it. He's got no guile and no meanness in him. And the boys are really schooling him. Having 2 brothers, I think, is really helpful for him, because even my Chihuahua come right up out of the blankets, man, and go right an inch from his nose, man, and let him know that he don't care how big you are, mister. He's gonna back the fuck off. And my Chihuahua's fearless, literally fearless. He will not care how big this dog gets. He will make him behave. And Xander Bay has been pretty good about that, the same, and really kind of older brotherish about it, like trying to teach him fetch and stuff like that. It's really quite cute. It's quite an amazing experience, but also very tiring. They go nonstop from the minute he wakes up in the morning until the minute he goes, like now, into a coma, a food-induced coma at the end of the day. they are quite challenging. But like I said, the lessons are endless, from how to be a kinder person, how to, lose your temper less, how to be more patient. All of these things that they teach you, all these little wisdoms throughout the day, and they slowly but surely make you a better person. I mean, just literally from being around them and taking good care of them, they, they train you, right? And how to be a good popper, how to be a good person. And then it goes deeper sometimes than that. There's a lot of uh, a lot of thought that I've given to sentience. What is a sentient being? Um, how how do we come to be? How do sentient beings come to be human? And it's often been theorized within Buddhism that dogs who come into contact with, say, you know, I don't want to put myself on a pedestal, but say a dog person, let's just say that, like me, who's going to really try to give them a good life and help them experience, the complete wonder of life that they can, whatever is possible to them. And um, is it possible for them to then, certainly Buddha said it was, because Buddha talked about spiritual evolution, the evolution of consciousness from lower beings, animal beings, to humans, and that's how it happens, right? And so um, it's possible for them to become enlightened eventually. They need a human life, right? And the way that they're going to get that, the way that they're going to, maybe not in the next life, maybe it might take a lot of lives, right? But the way that they'll get that is by being with us, by being with other humans, and humans who are actually concerned with their spiritual development. And I think that's what's unique about my relationship with my dogs, that I want to try to expose, at least through my channels and everything. And something I want to do here at the Hermitage as well is to see what happens. What happens if we try to treat these beings as if they are sentient beings, worthy of the possibility of enlightenment. Is there a way for us to help them understand the Dharma, even if it's just to hear mantras over and over and over again chanted? There's supposed to be great power in that for them. According to Tibetan theology, there's great power in animals being exposed to sacred music and sacred chant. So yeah. Anyway, I'm a dog lover. That's why I'm so pleased that Aloka is like almost like the leader of this whole movement now, is a dog, and that just is incredible to me. Makes me smile every time I think about it. Dogs can, change the world. They can change your life, and they can change the world. Um, so yeah, that's the puppy update. Puppy's doing great. He's just a terror. Xander thinks he's wonderful because he's got somebody that he can really play with now. Xavier has always been kind of little, and he was abused when we got him. Xavier was our Chihuahua, so he never was a kind of a playful dog, and is not kind of a dog that Xander could, knock around and have fun with. This one is, and he's really enjoying that. Xavier loves him. He slept with him last night. It's kind of cute. He curled up because it was very cold up here, and Xavier discovered that the puppy is one big giant hot water bottle. And so Xavier curled up next to him. But Xavier still thinks he's a domestic terrorist. I mean, he really does. He sleeps with one eye open, man. And but they're getting along famously, and it's going to be fine. And they've got a lot of space up here at the Hermitage, so our days are pretty peaceful. We don't really even hear any human sounds or anything all day long. We're just kind of up here with, the sounds of the birds, and that's it. And very peaceful. They get to do pretty much what they want. I mean, within reason. So the rules are just stay on the property and don't kill each other. Kind of open-ended like that. and so they enjoy a great deal of freedom. And the whole hillside now, because of the puppy, is littered with dog toys. So, you know, because we have dozens and dozens of toys, endless like boxes of them. And the puppies managed to like disperse them across the entire hillside. But I noticed that his favorite ones always make it back inside the house at night. So he's not completely inept out of the box. He's got quite a lot of intelligence, because he makes sure to gather the two or three that are special to him. Don't remain out on the hillside overnight. So I noticed that the other night. Well, so there's the puppy update. I'm now officially out of material, guys. I guess we could talk about my failed new show that I was going to try to do this week, in case some of those folks that were involved with that earlier this week. I tried to launch a new show called The Buddhist Gamer. I found one or two Buddhist games, and had some other ideas as well that I was going to incorporate into a show and actually do some Buddhist gaming, if you can imagine, right? Kind of funny. And I launched the first show, and I failed miserably because my poor little laptop, which just actually really barely manages to do this stream, to be honest with you, was totally not able to do an actual game stream. It wasn't able to. I just don't have the processing power, and so the whole thing just seized up, and it was a complete stream fail, and was over in about painful and over in about 10 minutes. So, but we'll try again. I have a gaming computer actually, and I need about $50 if somebody wants to donate to the channel as a channel donation. But I need about $50 to repair. I have an old gaming laptop. It's not very new. It's got some age on it, but it was a gamer. It's a Dragon. Anyway, but it was a decent little gamer when it was new. And it still could be, but it needs a new operating system, Windows 11. So I need a thumb drive and a license. So we're looking at about $50. And I could get it up and running, and it hogs wicked electricity because it doesn't have much of a battery left. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to work with it, but it does have the power in theory to. I've done it before. I used to stream gaming. I did mostly internet spaceships, if you can imagine. That was actually the name of my show, Flying Internet Spaceships, and I flew. Just that. I flew internet spaceships, and it was an mostly EVE Online, but and then EVE Echoes later when that came out. So mostly CCP properties like that. I was pretty much an EVE Online addict, and did that for a lot of years. And, you know, people laugh, well, internet spaceship, what is that? Well, you know, some of these spaceships, you know, they had spaceships called Titans that would cost around $4,000, about as much as a used car, right? So imagine being in a battle, a space battle, and you get your Titan blown up, right? I mean, can you imagine the tears of salt that flow in a game like that, where you've got assets that are that expensive? Now, mind you, a Titan is like several kilometers long spaceship. I mean, it's like gigantic, right? It can destroy like whole planets and crap. So, it's kind of like a Death Star, but with like a big engines on the back, you know? I mean, it's yeah. I was in the largest space battle ever in history. Largest battle period of any MMO period, space or otherwise. But the largest battle, over 6,800 people in spaceships on one grid, battling it out and trying to kill each other. And it was wild. I mean, I was cannon fodder. Literally, my job. It was funny because I had like almost no expertise in this, in fighting these wars, right? So, but I would sign up for them because it was great content, right? So I would get like a really cheap ship. They would usually give them to you, Like they just have these things stacked up in hangars inside the space stations, right? And they would give you I'd get in a ship, and my job was to go out of the front door of the space station, head into the battle, get as close to something as I could, try to shoot at it, and try to keep doing that for as long as I could before I was killed. At which point I would reappear. I would be in a new clone inside the station, and then I would get in, rinse and repeat. I would get in the ship. And all this took time, enormous amounts of time and like organization on your part just to participate. And you're following orders. These guys are like barking at you, like go, 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 and because they need you to just keep getting out there and getting killed, right? So that the guys who knew what they were doing, because you were trying to, you were like the fog of war, right? And then all amongst you were the actual guys, the pilots who really knew what they were doing with really expensive ships, who were flying around, killing each other on an industrial scale. And so everything had its purpose, right? And all those thousands of people actually mattered. They ended up mattering. And then it was not that battle, but another battle and I was also in it, and it was the most expensive battle in history. $4 million worth of spaceships were destroyed in a matter of hours on one grid. And that was a battle of the Titans, they called it. And so it was, all of these ships that were getting popped were like $4,000 a ship. And it was just like hundreds of these ships, these gigantic ships, piled into one grid and battled it out for hours. Along with thousands of littler ships all amongst them in the mess. But it was primarily a battle of the Titans, and that was the most expensive battle, and that's in the Guinness Book. Those battles are in the Guinness Book of World Records, and that was called the Great War in EVE Online. Probably the most incredible thing I've ever been a part of. It was a lot of fun. I have to say it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work, right? Because you're in an army, so you're getting these alarms and these notifications at like 3 in the morning. Hey, our capital station is being attacked. Everybody get up, get in the Discord, get in the game, log in. Everybody grab this ship, grab that ship. Let's go. And it was like crazy, right? You're getting up at 3 in the morning, like. And of course, for me, it was content, right? So the minute I got up, I would just start streaming and then go do whatever it is I had to do. Yeah, that was my life for a lot of years, was EVE Online. And it's a very intense, it had a very wild economy, right? People wrote papers, economists wrote papers on the game economy of EVE Online and how organic it was, how diverse it was, how it really had its own ebb and flow, and it was a real simulated economy in every sense of the word. It still is. It's a great game. I have to actually stay away from it because it's I think forever will be a point of what's the word I want to use? Too much attraction. You know what I mean? So I think it's best for me to stay away from games like that. But I want to do this show all with just karma related games and dharma related games. And a friend of mine actually pointed out that such games actually exist. There's one that we're going to give a try on the channel when we do. Well, I'm going to do the gaming show again, but we want to try this one. I think it's written by a llama. And I'm in the Discord now, so we're going to try to get that game going and see what it's about on the stream. And then we're also going to do some episodes on VR, and there's a lot of meditation spaces now opening up, guys. And even whole sanghas are opening up now in virtual reality, which I think is something that is very underlooked as a resource to bring together community and sangha on the internet. I've sat in virtual reality. I've done meditation with groups and with people before. There used to be in Second Life the most incredible Buddhist center ever in Second Life. And I remember sitting many sermons, many different teachings in Deer Park at that center. They had this place called Deer Park. and that's where they did the teachings. And it was just a beautiful setting with little like AI deers like running around, and um, and then you sat and you know you're in virtual reality, so the sound is spatial. I mean, the guy sounds like he's talking from up on the pedestal, and if the guy next to you like moves or itches or something, you'll hear him. I mean, it's wild, right? Because it's virtual reality, so it's very immersive. You really, even if you only just watch it through your computer, because you can imbibe these worlds in 2D. You don't need the gear. The headset is the first piece you want to get, but and then you can get all of it. I mean, you can get haptic jackets now and gloves and treadmills for walking around and all this sort of stuff now for the VR space. But mostly the headset would be the big one for meditations, because you really just kind of sit there and listen, and for the teachings. But it's nice to have the headset. You really get the surround sound then, and the surround vision. You get the immersiveness of you see how VR is very different than the 2D, because like I said, you can travel through these worlds in 2D, but it's a very different experience doing it on your laptop than from doing it on a headset. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that in that show. That show will eventually happen. It was just it was an overreach. I knew this computer couldn't do it anyway. I should have known that it didn't have the moxie for a flat out run at game streaming. But I miss it. I do. It was a lot of fun, and the audiences were a lot huger than this. So. Yeah. So let's read Jax's comment on the Walk for Peace. It's very inspiring for me. They actually moved through where I live, but I was out of town when they were there and would have loved to have met them in person. I don't know. I would be awestruck. I think I'm one of those guys, like so many I see in the videos. I would be on my knees, just with my head bowed down. You know, I just looking at their feet. I would I don't know. I think that when you're in their presence, you're in the presence of the sacred. You know. I mean, I wonder, how did people feel when they came into the presence of somebody like, say, back in medieval times, Saint Francis of Assisi? You ever wonder that? What did people when they met him? I mean, we hear the legends about who he was, what he was, you know, how he preached to the animals in the forest and all that sort of stuff, right? What was it like to meet them? I'll bet you cried, right? I'll bet that, like so many of those people, like those cops that I saw, you throw yourself to your knees and you cast your eyes to the ground, because the glare is so much, right? That's what I bet. I think that these men may very well, for whatever reason, however their karma led them to it, they may be walking and treading sacred ground. They may be saints. You know? Certainly, time and legend will make them into saints. As well it should. Because we need things like this to inspire people to find their own sort of inner compassion, their own strength, their own sort of courage, right? To go out and try to make the world a better place. And so I think that this is, and I really stand by what I said, that I believe it's by breaking into mainstream media, by becoming viral on the internet, they have made peace cool again. And you know, once again, it's cool to say you want peace, right? And it couldn't come at a better time, when we're literally right on the very cusp of, you know, possible 2 different wars, right? In Venezuela and Iran. So what better time to bring that message straight to, you know, the White House? Like straight up, they're going to the White House. However they're received there, it doesn't matter. They will go to at least the gates of the White House. We'll see what happens after that, right? We'll see if they let them in. I'm rooting for the monks, but it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure we'll know until they get there what's going to happen. I should get some viewers that day because I'm going to do some good coverage of it. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, tonight's video. I don't think we're going to, Jax, I don't think we're going to get 5 entries into tonight's raffle. Let me check on the bot and see if he's there. But yeah, you are the only entrant tonight, Jax. See, the problem with running a raffle on an audience-free show is just doesn't work very well. That's all there is to it. Just doesn't work very well. But in any case, anybody lurking who has any questions? Sis, did you ever get unbanned by the bot, or do you not care? Did you leave my channel in disgust because my bot treated you poorly? Oh my goodness. I can't believe that happened. I'm so embarrassed. I'm going to have a long talk with the bot, guys. Long talk. I see, and this is where we need a video game. Literally, this is right, right here is... Bone, did you fall asleep? I guess Wamachoga didn't need any sweep video tonight. Any video to sweep by. He didn't stop by for his doze. I swear the last few weeks he's been coming here just to like pass out to my... I was like, damn, my videos have become that genre. You know what I mean? Yeah? You think? You're here. You're here, mister. On the audience-free live stream of the Dharma Bum. Hey, I got my fireplace going, guys. It's a fireside chat, see? I mean, I can't wait till the summer. Maybe we'll draw viewers with an actual fire. Did we actually? I can't remember if I got any viewers during that. I think I got more viewers for the campfires than I did for this. Seems like I did. And then we had the coyote thing. Every night, man, the coyotes would howl on stream. It was like hysterical. The dogs would just go nuts. It sounded like an episode of like... What's the name of that wildlife show there? Whatever. See, it just goes to show you, though, this is the algorithm. This is the way it works. I'll bet you Dr. Rob is streaming right about now. He's probably got like 50 or so people watching him. And just, being as outrageous as he possibly can. And, yeah. I just don't get outrageous left in me. I used to. When I was younger. See, they didn't have YouTube when I could have really, like, benefited from it. In my 20s, I could have really, like, juiced on some stuff like this. I would have been a superstar 8 times over by now. If I had the internet in my 20s. We didn't even have cell phones back then. So... It's a way different world. I mean, I'm entering this game late, man. I mean, I look around, even the other Dharma content creators. Look at Dr. Rob. He's like, what, 25 years old or something like that? I mean, he's a kid. My God, these are all kids, right? I mean, kids stay up all night. They can stay up literally for 8 hours straight putting face paint on themselves and, like, goofing off. And that's, kind of like game streaming in a way, because, it's really, if you can do stuff like that, you really will get an audience. I mean, the algorithms will bring the people into you. Well, guys, I don't know. I think we even lost Jax. So, for lack of anything better, maybe I gotta start piling up more content. But maybe we could call it early this week. I do have a closing song. And I guess unless anybody's lurking with some questions, sis, I really am sorry that you got, like, banned by my bot. I'll look into this. I'll have a talk with the bot. It's like that now. You gotta take the bot aside. He might want a raise, maybe. Maybe he just feels like he's not being treated properly around here. He's been acting out a lot, though. I mean, he's really been shooting first and asking questions later. He seems to get somebody every stream. Alright, guys. We're going to end it early this week. It's too cold to sit up here and stream audience free. I love y'all anyway. Leave a like and a subscribe. Say anything you'd like in the comments, especially about the walk for peace. Any questions about the Hermitage or the puppy, feel free to ask them in the comments. Most people will be watching this on the replay, so thank you guys for the view. Keep us in mind with the winter appeal. The link is in the description below. This show is live from the Hermitage. It airs every Saturday at 9 p.m. So come around next week and check it out again. We do try to give away a mailer every week, but we're pretty audience free right now. So hey, maybe tell your friends and bring them along with it, and say, hey, let's go over here and win a mailer from this guy. And so we'll see you next week. We're gonna close out with some good stuff. A nice song, another good song. Written, yet another one. I mean, dozens and dozens, right, of ballads have been written about these guys, and they're not even finished with the walk yet. But yet another great original song written about the walk for peace. And we'll see you guys next week, okay?
Dust and wind and broken stone. The road was long, the sky was endless, yet something whispered you are not alone. I left behind the weight of yesterday, the noise of fear, the wars of men. With bare feet on this trembling ground, I vow to walk for peace again. O world of sorrow, hear my prayer. Let every step become your light. I carry hope in fragile hands and walk until the end of night.
I see the tears of distant mothers. I hear the children crying for home. I feel the ache of ancient suffering that haunts the bones of every storm.
Yet in the darkest wounded places, a fragile seed still dares to grow.
If love still breathes in human hearts, then peace is not so far to know.
O sacred road, receive my vow. Through storm and fire and pain,
I walk for those who cannot walk,
until the world remembers again. I walk for those who lost their way,
for every soul that bears a scar.
I walk for those who still believe that love is stronger than we are.
Together's hearts, one road, one sacred flame, one breath that carries every name. Through dust and rain, through night and dawn, we walk as one and walk on.
Let every step forgive the
Let
past.
every prayer outlive the
We are the bridge the world has
We are the healing in the rain.
Walk with us, oh wounded world. Lay your burdens on the ground.
From every land, from every soul, let mercy be the only sound.
Walk with us through grief and fear, through broken dreams and shattered trust.
We carry peace in open hands. We plant compassion in the dust.
Walk with us. Walk with us.
Till hatred fades and hope remains. The road is long, but love is longer, and peace outlives all change.
I see a dawn where none stood waiting. I hear the bells of hearts awake. I feel the earth begin to soften, where once it only learned to break. If every soul would take one step, if every heart would choose to stay,
The world would heal beneath our feet and learn again how love is made.
the road was born before all borders.
The path was carved by human tears.
We walk the dreams of generations.
We walk the prayers of ancient years.
The walk for peace has no beginning, and no ending waits ahead. It lives wherever hearts awaken,
And compassion learns to tread. Peace is not a distant kingdom. Peace is every step. Peace is born where fear is forgiven. Peace is love, the brave still make.
from every road, from every land.
Let all the world now understand. The walk for peace is humanity.